Hello everyone, I'm Tara Jones from Peaceful Solutions Riding and Training. Today we're going to go over a riding tip that's extremely helpful, but very simple in execution of how to do it. Today I'm going to show you a Western saddle because honestly that's primarily what I ride. I do ride English and dressage as well and teach all training disciplines, but on a daily basis it's a little bit more comfortable for me to ride Western. So that's what I'm going to show you today. Anytime you're riding any other discipline, however, it does not matter. This exercise will help you to gain stability for your lower leg. Today I have my partner Valencia with me, and this is my 7-year-old Morgan mare, and she's going to help me out today by just simply being the mannequin. When you start doing this exercise, it's best to just stand still on your horse till you get a really good, solid, firm foundation with your body. Today's the first day of winter, so it's a little chilly today. So you'll see I have my high boots on. But really, in all reality, make sure you have good footwear on that's appropriate for riding. So let's get started, and I'm going to climb aboard Valencia and show you how to do the standing exercise. Before I go ahead and climb on Valencia, I wanted to go over a few very important factors that I always teach my students. A lot of us don't have the help of an instructor or the convenience to have somebody watch us ride all the time. So it's very important to have our own little checklist or a way that we can check how our body position is and our balance upon our horse so it can help us as we progress in our riding. One of the things that I always tell my students is when you refer to the fender of the stirrup, this is the area that we're talking about. Whether it's a Western saddle with the fenders or we're talking about an English saddle with the leathers or a dressage saddle with the leathers, you always want to make sure that your stirrup fenders or leathers are straight up and down. They're completely vertical. You don't want to have a leg that moves too far forward and puts this fender in a diagonal line forward, or you don't want to have a leg that moves the fender too far back and puts it in a diagonal line backward. You always want to make sure it's straight up and down. The second key factor in when we're going over any part of how we position our lower leg is we want to make sure that the hull of our stirrup is indeed facing forward towards 12 o'clock like so. If it's turning outwards or inwards, then we want to go ahead and position our foot through the stirrup so that the hull of the stirrup is facing forward. The last piece that I always tell my students is that the bottom or the platform of the stirrup needs to be equal with the ground. In other words, it should be hull of the stirrup forward, bottom of the stirrup even with the ground. No airplane leg, as I call it, where this bottom of the stirrup is now in a diagonal line with the ground. So with those three things in mind, it can really help you to determine whether or not both legs are even, symmetrical, or if you have more weight or a crooked position. So as you go through, when you go ahead and start this standing exercise in the saddle, whatever discipline you ride, make sure that you go through this checklist first. Now that I'm aboard Valencia, we're going to talk about the standing exercise. This is a very simple exercise to perform, but often tiny, minute little details get overlooked. So remember, the first thing that we're going to do is we're just going to peek down and make sure that our stirrup fender is straight up and down. The next checkpoint is going to make sure that our foot is through the stirrup so that the hull of the stirrup is facing forward towards 12 o'clock on both sides. So I'm just going to go ahead and check this foot as well. And then the bottom of the platform of our stirrup is even with the ground, so no outward leg. The next thing that I'm going to do is I usually refer to this position as zipper. And the reason I refer to it as zipper is I would think of the zipper of my pants pocket straight up and down. So I don't want to stand up and be tilting backwards with my zipper, and I don't want to stand up and be tilting forwards with my zipper. When I do stand, I want to stand directly up and make sure that this area of my pelvis is straight up and down. What I often tell my riders is, if your pelvis was like a bowl and it was full to the top with water, you don't want to spill the water forward or backward. So you want to make sure that your pelvis is upright and even. Go ahead and slowly sit down lightly in the saddle once again, and then you're just going to go ahead and stand up in the stirrups once again. And you're just going to keep performing this exercise over and over until this becomes so incredibly easy for you that you can stand and sit with absolutely no issues. If you need to, in the beginning, go ahead and just grab a handful of mane or push down on the pommel of your saddle. Once you're up there though, try to balance. If you find that you're constantly falling backwards, make sure that your stirrup leather is not forward in a diagonal line to the front. This is more what I see because most people like to push their heels down. And when you push your heels down, then you lock the front of your ankle. If you lock the front of your ankle, it makes it really difficult to stand up. You'll immediately fall backwards in the saddle. Vice versa, sometimes I see people trying to fix that issue and they end up too much on their toe, leaning forward and tilting all of the water out of their pelvis and end up where they feel like they're going to go forward in the saddle. So our stirrup fender would be diagonally to the back. Again, go through your checklist one more time. Start from the beginning, make sure that everything is correct. Your stirrup leather is in fact straight down on both sides. The hull of your stirrup is forward towards 12, and the bottom of your stirrup is parallel with the ground. Once you have that, go ahead and stand up so your zipper is upright and you can stand straight up with a straight leg and straight calf. As you sit down, try not to flop down, but make sure that you sit slowly, muscle by muscle. This is going to help you as you progress in your riding because it's going to allow you to start to build tone. Tone is what is important in riding. And I always tell my students, you need to have tone where it's at the lowest possible level of a 1, and you need to be able to take that tone all the way up to an advanced or elite rider, which would be a 10. Once you have that volume level where you can raise it or lower it, you're going to be much more effective and influential on your horse. So once again, just follow these simple and easy steps, and if you can get it at the standstill, then you can go ahead and walk. It's a great exercise to perform at the walk, trot, and canter, and it's a great way for you to check your body. Once again, I'm Tara Jones from Peaceful Solutions. Thanks for watching. And if you'd like to catch some more riding tips, I did author and write a book called Solving the Riddles of Riding, where I go into great depth and detail on plenty of exercises that you can practice. Check out my website at tarajonestraining.com and go under the products page to order it. Thanks so much everybody for watching. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye. Good job, V.